Hello. Hard to believe, but we are actually at the midterm. What you see before you right now is the syllabus instruction page. As you will notice, we have just finished up week 5 with the Atlantic Revolutions. Your second primary source analysis was due to me the 20th by midnight, which means that this coming week with the discussion of industrialization. Um, the midterm is due by Monday, February the 27th. I have to post midterm grades on March the 1st, and that effectively gives me a day or so to get them graded. And with that in mind, let's talk about the instructions for that. So, first and foremost, and this paper that you're looking at right now, I will send to you in an email along with the link to this video. You must have Respondus Lockdown Browser and Monitor. This page right here explains to you how to go about doing that. You will be required to have a computer that has a camera attached to it or working through it. The reason for this is so that I can actually see you taking the test. Now, um, when you go to the quiz section on Brightspace, it will have two things. It'll have first a practice sample Respondus lockdown test thing. Really, all that is designed to do, there are no questions to it. All it's designed to do is to let you make sure that your Respondus browser and the proctoring function are working. Because you do not want to wait until you are ready to take the exam to suddenly discover that there is a problem with the way your computer is interfacing with it. So that practice test is set there basically just to test and make sure that you've got the Respondus Lockdown browser operational and everything is going. Again, here are the basic instructions for it, pretty straightforward. Also, once you're working with it, there's a 24/7 chat option. If you're having problems, you can chat with them and they will help you nail down what exactly it is you need. So before you do anything else, and I encourage you to do it just as soon as you are finished viewing this video or having read this email, go ahead, download the Respondus Lockdown browser to your computer. Make sure that it is operating with the Select Lockdown browser launch function there to make sure that everything is going. All right. So, as to the actual instructions to the test, it will open Tuesday night, the 21st at 6 p.m. It will close the 27th, Monday night at 6 p.m., not midnight at 6 p.m. So be sure that you have taken the exam somewhere within those 7 days, or 6 days since it actually opens on Tuesday. Because it is a one-shot exam, as in once you open the exam, you have to finish it because you won't get back into it. You have 2 hours. You need to make sure that you have allocated that 2 hours. These are general instructions for using the browser, but also just for common sense. Be sure you have a comfortable environment where the video recording taken of yourself and your workspace can be seen easily. It should be free of distractions and interruptions, of course. Be sure that you know you have 2 hours and that you've allocated that amount of time for it. And remain at your computer for the duration of the test. If you get up and walk away, you need to come back and immediately explain to me why. Be sure that you have Wi-Fi. Be sure that you've passed all the checks in the lockdown browser. Avoid wearing baseball caps or hats with brims because the browser is designed to look for your face. Be sure that you are in an area where you can work. You're going to be using the computer itself to take the exam. Since you will be able to use your textbook, the Harari chapters and the Frankopan chapters, be sure you have access to those. If you are in the lockdown browser, you cannot leave the page that you're on. So you're going to want to have either your phone with access to those sources or a second computer or an iPad or some kind of tablet that will let you um, access the ones that you need. Or if you want, you can print them out. That is entirely up to you. But the camera will be looking to see if you are using things. If you are, you need to clarify to me what it is. Now, I'm saying this now. It is all over the place in here, but let me be sure you completely understand this. Your test will be run through Turnitin. If any part of any answer comes back as having been copied and pasted or typed in verbatim from somewhere other than the textbook of your choice, Harari, or Frankopan, your entire test will be graded at a 0. The only sources you may use are Harari, Frankopan, and your textbook of choice, which you need to identify in your test. You must cite when you use them. You can cite in the form of author page number. That's perfectly fine. Since this is a timed test, I'm not going to make you give full citations, but the only sources you can use are those. So if you are paraphrasing something from Harari, put Harari in the page number. If you're paraphrasing something from Frankopan, put Frankopan in the page number. If you are using your textbook, put the author's name. And again, the only textbooks that I'm allowing you to work with are Strayer and Nelson's Ways of the World, Von Sivers' Patterns of World History, Bentley's Traditions and Encounters, or the Cordes et al. OpenStax World Civilizations 2 textbook, which you may just put as Cordes, page number. Those are the only 4 you can use. If you're using something else, you need to email me immediately and ask me if that source is all right. All right, you need to give me a full citation for it so I can find it. But you need to email me and get permission to use any textbook other than the 4 I have already mentioned. All right. Also, there you go, unable to exit the test until, well, in this case, it's not until all the questions are completed. But once you exit the test, you can't get back in. So you've got 2 hours to do it. You're going to want to do the whole thing. All right, again, these are your help things. Windows and Mac Lockdown Browser Help Center, the 24/7 live chat support that can help you, the knowledge base. All of these are areas that you can go to find out what's going on. All right, again, these are all you can use. I've specifically listed them there. Frankopan chapters 12 to 16, Harari 14 to 17. And again, if your Turnitin score matches to anything other than those sources, your entire test will be graded at 0. Please bear that in mind. You will need to have a form of identification with you when you start the test. The very first thing you need to do is show me clearly on the camera that identification so that I can match it to your face to make sure that you are who you say you are. This is to make sure that you haven't found some really smart buddy to take the test for you. I'm assuming that you aren't going to cheat, but we kind of have to be sure. So the test is made up of 7 essay questions. 3 of them are worth 20 points each. 4 of them are worth 10 points each. There are 2 required questions, 1 required long answer, 1 required short answer. But among the others, you will have a choice of the questions you want to answer. In the 20-point questions, there are 2 sets of 3. You answer 1 of them. In the short answer, or the 10-point questions that are not required, you can choose from those as well. But for the most part, these are ones that you are, the required ones you have to answer. And again, all of the questions are going to require you to use Harari and Frankopan and compare and contrast their information. So if you have not been keeping up with your Harari and Frankopan, if you haven't read them or taken notes on them, and you may use notes as well, but you need to let me know what they are. If you've taken notes on Harari and Frankopan, you're welcome to use them, but I encourage you definitely to be familiar with the material. You only have 2 hours to answer 7 essay questions. So you need to have a strong working knowledge of the material in your textbook and in your Harari and Frankopan. All right, if you have any questions, please email me and let me know as soon as possible. Again, you have until Monday the 27th at 6 p.m. to take the exam. Which means you have to start it by 4 o'clock Monday afternoon. I do not recommend waiting till the last minute. I really, 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 really don't. And don't email me saying, oh, I ran out of time. That's not part of what this is about. This is about you being able to allocate your time, to be familiar enough with the materials we've gone over in the past 6 weeks so that you don't have to spend a lot of time looking for stuff. You don't have time to look for stuff, right? So you want to do this in that 2-hour period, be as familiar with the material as possible, support your answers as well as you can. Again, if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing your midterms. Thanks.